On October 29th, when Hurricane Sandy hit the continent, it was about 1,000 kilometers wide. Its windy reach killed 2 people in Canada, while tens of thousands lost power north of the border, mostly in Quebec and the Maritimes. This paled in comparison to the devastation in the areas sitting directly in Sandy's path, mainly the coastal states of New Jersey and New York. Of the 131 Americans killed, 90 of them perished here. In the early evening hours of October 29th, Hurricane Sandy, also known as the Superstorm, first came ashore in the United States.
This is at the very north end of Atlantic City. The streets here are covered. We knew this with the tidal flooding. It is only expected to get worse as Sandy makes her landfall here in New Jersey.
$70 billion in total damage is a difficult number for most of us to fathom. Think of the destruction on a more personal level. One car, one business, one house at a time, washed away.
The next morning we had on our electronic boards, "Nice try, Sandy." So, it's kind of the attitude we've taken since then. The Atlantic City's open for business and okay after the hurricane.
Just less than a month later, the power had been restored. The cleanup and restoration was well underway, and Atlantic City braced for something completely different, a thrilling night of hockey.
We drove up on the bus, and we expected to see sand everywhere and everything. And they got to get the word out. Atlantic City is alive. Atlantic City is up, and it looks great. And we walked out on the boardwalk. We walked out of Caesars and walked down to Boardwalk Hall, and it looks great.
Welcome to Operation Hat Trick, with 3 charities in mind: the American Red Cross, New York's Empire State Relief Fund, and the New Jersey Hurricane Relief Fund.
We're very happy to have here in Atlantic City where it was affected. We also have people from Rockaways and Staten Island here. And big thanks to all you guys and the players for making this happen. Have fun.
With the goal of raising at least $500,000 for storm victims, 36 NHLers split up onto Team Brad Richards, with a bit of a New York tilt, and Team Scott Hartnell, representing more of Philadelphia and South Jersey.
Caesars Casino's been unbelievable getting guys in here. Thank you to all the players for coming out. But most of all, thank you to everyone here, and our hearts and prayers and thoughts are going out for everyone that's been affected by this storm.
The game was thrown together in about a week with the help of volunteers, Caesars Entertainment, who fed workers and housed players, and former Flyer Todd Fedoruk, who developed in that organization and now coaches in the state of New Jersey with Trenton of the ECHL.
There's so many teams in such a small area, in this tri-state area, that they're all kind of connected to the communities, and their communities were affected in some way. So when your neighbor is underwater, you're like, yeah, I'm going to play a game. Maybe I'll get you some help. It's a pretty easy sell. And, once the ball got rolling, more and more guys joined on, and then it became something where, it had legitimacy in the caliber of players, and more guys come on, and then you can really make a good event and a special event for the players to see, because some of the skill it's going to be showcased in the game is, it's the best in the league, so that's special.
The timing was fortuitous. The ice was already down at the Boardwalk Hall for an upcoming series of American Hockey League games. Area NHL players were already attempting to organize a game or two simply for the purpose of getting some competitive training. When the storm recovery effort was tossed in the mix, the event became a reality, bringing players from as far away as Sweden and a dozen or so who were back home in Canada.
Well, obviously when people reach out to you and ask you to come be involved in something like this, obviously your first reaction is going to be instant yes, and to come down here to be a part of this, to help and raise some funds for a good cause, to help some people. I think that's why everybody's here.
For one night in Atlantic City, New Jersey, it was all about NHLers playing hockey. With this season's All-Star game already canceled due to the ongoing owners' lockout, Operation Hat Trick served as a fitting substitute. No hits, no blocked shots, very little D. Henrik Lundqvist of the Rangers gave up 6 goals, but he also made 57 saves. His Brad Richards team jumped out to a 4-0 first-period lead and won the game 10-6, with future Hall of Famer Marty Brodeur of the Devils manning the crease at the other end. Richards had 3 assists for the winners. Matt Martin added 2, while the big offensive star was James Neal of the Penguins, who finished with 4 goals. It was a breakaway festival. Tickets for Operation Hat Trick went for between $20 and $100, and all of the jerseys and some of the equipment used by the players is still being auctioned off. The Boardwalk Hall is a classic venue. After being constructed almost 100 years ago, it was described as the 8th wonder of the world, with then the planet's largest enclosed open building space and ceiling. It's the former longtime home of the Miss America pageant, the home to the Eastern Hockey League's Seagulls back in the 1930s and 40s, and to the ECHL champion Boardwalk Bullies earlier this century. Coincidentally, in 1933, the then largest crowd ever to watch a hockey game in history, 22,157, attended a Red Cross fundraiser between the Gulls and the New York Rangers. The Operation Hat Trick crowd reached the maximum current seating capacity of 10,792.
That was special. Yeah, that was special, especially because, you look into the crowd, there was a mix of everybody out there tonight. I think you saw some Philly fans, some Rangers fans. I think I saw some Jersey Devils fans. You had Islanders fans, all over. I saw some people with Carcillo Phoenix jersey, so I think you got a really great mix of people, and I think hopefully everyone had fun tonight.
It was incredible. So, we're touched. We come in and look like heroes here, but there's a lot of heroes behind the scenes, and you look at the devastation from Hurricane Sandy. It's a lot of heroes, a lot of stories of the devastation, and people coming together, communities coming together, and it just makes your heart melt.
When we come back to Operation Hat Trick, Canadian hockey players doing what comes naturally.